Right. So, Justin said he's not feeling too well. So he's like, yeah, enjoy your day off. We'll do the podcast next week where we talk about shiny Pokemon. Good, the bad, the ugly, etc. Okay. But what I want to do here is show behind the scenes. So, I edit the videos, and I use Vegas Pro 14. I got this on Humble Bundle years ago. I love Vegas Pro 14. Everyone's like, use Adobe Premiere. I tried the trial. I hated it. So, go ahead and put this back here. So I'm going to start with the first episode. And it is going to say that there's a file missing. It's just a picture. That doesn't matter. So here's episode 1. Here's all the cuts. Basically what I do is I put my intro on. Put this image here. You can see at the bottom of the screen currently. There are links to our Twitter and Twitches. Is that the correct term? Twitch? Twitch counts? I don't know. Twitch just sounds weird. And then we have the actual podcast itself. So, you know, first one, I was like, I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. So I thought about it and was like, you know what I want to do? I want to have our intro like this. I want to have, whenever I talk, it zooms in on my picture. Whenever he talks, zoom in on his. Pretty creative, pretty easy. All I had to do was take the video, hit this button here, resize it so it just shows his face. Like if I slide this over, now you can see just my face. Hit cancel. We're going to Control Z because we're not going to save any of this. This is basically the first episode. Whenever I edit these, I try to remove ums and pauses. It's not always easy. If you've heard any of the episodes, I actually got episode 5 uploaded last night, which I was so happy about. But, like I just said, again. Anyway, this is episode 1. All I did was make it so whoever's face it's on, it zooms in, see our blurry JPEG pictures, or rather, not even pictures, it's just whatever the video file is. It's hard to get the exact moment, so you see all these cuts. This is where I had to cut, resize. Sorry, drinking some water. Not been awake long. I'm dealing with something that's a little frustrating, which is why I have this relaxing music in the background. I'm going to turn down just a little more. Just a little bit more. There we go. So all these cuts is switching who's talking, removing any ums or pauses. And that's basically it for episode 1. Nothing too fancy. See, we have our intro here. Both of us talking, you know, our outro.
I think for introductions and talking about what we're going to be doing here.
Yeah, so there's that. Now we're going to go to episode 2. Episode 2, I have them saved just in case, because yeah, that's just a picture of Justin, but I decided not to use it because he was like, I found one better, and he sent it to me, and I used it in a later episode. This is episode 2. This is a picture of Justin that's missing. I might replace it just so if I decide to re-upload it later or anything. But this is the same, and the reason why this episode took forever, let me zoom this up here. We talked about our favorite Pokemon, so every single one of these little squares here, one of our favorite Pokemon. So he's got Venusaur, Fearow, Poliwhirl, got all his favorite Pokemon here. Then I go on to my favorite Pokemon. So this one took a little bit longer because I wanted to show all of our favorite Pokemon. So you see these nice lovely images here, these nice lovely PNGs. I actually wanted GIFs. I wanted GIFs of the Pokemon like moving around or dancing or something. I just wanted something of the things. The problem was whenever I tried to render it, the frame rate was terrible. The frames were terrible. Like you couldn't it was so bad that I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do images to keep it easy. There's Togekiss. I'm a Pokemon Go. There's all those images. And then this is all the cuts between him talking with the image missing. I'll try to replace it later. And then me talking, him, me. Back and forth, back and forth. This one took a long time because like all these little cuts I had to make, all these little lines here. You zoom in, you can see where I've done editing. So like there's probably a long pause here or an. So the problem I have with trying to remove every is sometimes I zoom in. That's as far as I can zoom in, and I still can't get the out. Either it's too close to another word, or it's so quick that I don't have time to there I go again. I don't have time to remove it because I will sit here for 30 minutes trying to remove said or pause. So that's episode 2. We talk about favorite Pokemon. Then obviously add my intro, outro, and that's it. So let's go on to episode 3. Yeah. I don't remember what that image is, but we're just gonna leave it out. This is episode 3. We're talking about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So that's the image he gave me. That looks a lot better than the blurry JPEG. If you're wondering what the blurry JPEG is, I literally took a screenshot of his image on the video zoomed in and just overlaid it on the video. Speaking of the video, it's up here. So I have so many layers. I have the podcast audio here. I sometimes put the intro and outro on a different line, depending on how loud the recording for the podcast is. Because if this volume and this volume are very similar, I'll just put them on the same line. However, as you can see, this is 6 decibels. This is at 0. There's the audio on this one. So we're talking about Scarlet and Violet in this one. And this is the spoiler alert here. I'm going to say it again because there still are spoilers in this for both TCG and the game. So we're talking about the Pokemon game, talking about EXs, comparing them to some other cards. Go all the way down. I will say this episode was a lot of fun to edit once we got into the actual game itself. Due to the fact, like, I hated this. This is Sunflora. This is the only Sunflora image I could find that was a PNG and didn't have some sort of like pixelated background. I hated this image, but it's all I could find. So we got Palmy. I don't remember what that is. We got Lechonk. Got a couple other Pokemon. But like all these references I put in here. So I'm still hoping that this Pokemon's shiny is purple. Obviously we're talking about some of the Pokemon where, hey, we actually have images. Then we get into stuff like this where it's like, these are just from the trailer. Talking about Pokemon that are making a return. Where's the really fun part? Is it here? No. So we're talking about Pokemon that are returning to the game. I'm trying to find my really favorite part. Talking about the starters there. Here we go. So like, we're talking about the leaks, right? We know about this Pokemon. This was called Black Dog. Obviously, all these Pokemon I had fun looking images up of. Are quote-unquote spoilers. Free images, because I did find a couple of the actual images. I just didn't want to do that. Just in case Nintendo might be like, hey, you can't do that, same Pokemon. Like this one's Seagull. This one's Parakeet. That's the only Parakeet image I could find that didn't have a background. We got a Flamingo, which is actually Flamigo. No N in there. We got Ostrich. We got a Narwhal. We got a Dolphin. We got this thing. We got the fish. We got Pink Hammer. Literally, Pink Hammer. We got a spicy Pokemon, and I decided Jose Jalapeno on a stick. Perfectly describes them. So it was fun putting these kind of images. Yeah, the salt, the engine, tumbleweed. It was fun putting some of these images up. As much as I wanted to put the actual image, I wasn't going to. So again, with all the ums and pauses, if you look here, it looks like there's a pause. There's some audio missing. Oh, I remember this one. I was using, for the first 3 episodes, I used my wireless headset and connected to my phone, and I would record my voice that way. However, the audio was kind of on a couple of them. So like this, I took it down to its own level. I made it 12 decibels. Justin's voice and the normal part of the podcast is at 6 decibels. Mine's at 12. Mine's at 12. So there's all these cuts. So anytime there's a pause, there's an I'm literally going in here, removing it, sliding the audio over. I've edited some lines so well that it sounds like either him or myself are naturally speaking. That's what we're actually saying when we're going something like, here, let's go about Wiglet. We're talking about the Alaskan bullworm. We all know the Alaskan bullworm from SpongeBob. So like, there could have been a pause here where he says something like, you know what Diglett reminds me of? What is that thing from SpongeBob? Oh yeah, the Alaskan bullworm. And I could have removed that and made it so it says, you know what this reminds me of, right? The Alaskan bullworm. And it just sounds natural. And that's one of my goals with this, is to make it sound like we're still naturally speaking while editing audio. So let's go on to episode 4. This one killed me. I tried so hard to get this done before Wednesday. It's just, it was not possible at all. It wasn't possible. It was frustrating. I literally stayed up till 4 a.m. to finish editing this, render it, and upload it. Once it was uploading, I was like, I'm going to bed. Peace out. I will see you in the morning and we can discuss the next podcast, do the recording, etc. So, there's our intro. Talking about Silver Tempest. The Pokemon card I pulled that I sold. I put some editor notes in here. Like Pokemon Live. I don't know what's going on with it, why it looks blurry for me. I tried everything, updated drivers. And that's where we're talking about the V-Star. Whenever you use a V-Star in the physical game, you have a V-Star token, and you flip that over to indicate, I used my V-Star attack, because you can only do one V-Star per game. And the fact that that's very tiny, it's on the right side of the screen, and it's under the timer. It's very small and not noticeable. Where TCGO, your GX V-Star counters are like right here on the left side. They're physically there as tokens, and they flip. They do this cool flip animation whenever you do the V-Star GX attack. Kinda wish they'd bring that back. But this one, we're talking about the TCG, so we're going over every little card. Almost. So the problem with editing is that I have to literally go file, open, take this picture of Venonat, adjust where it is. So it will start in the middle, like that. Okay, let's actually do this. So the picture will start like that. So I'll have to move it over, get about the size I want, then slide it up, try and make sure the whole card fits, and then I'll slide it over again. Just like that. I'm gonna hit Control Z, and it's probably gonna look a little different, because I'm not going to save any of these changes. So this one, we're going over literally almost every card in Silver Tempest, while comparing it to older cards as well. Talk about improvements that can be made. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of cards in here. There's a lot of cards. And I'm glad my guy, Justin, he's like, I'm gonna actually make this shorter, so we're not talking about every single card. And then he did this for me, which I'm so happy about. He actually opened the website where I was looking. I love this gallery. I love this gallery where you can like click on the card, zoom in, kind of tilt it, look at the attacks and everything. It's such a cool thing that he did. And I'm so appreciative of him doing this, because this saved a lot of time. And if I thought about it before we started recording, I would have sent him the link and be like, hey, show this on your screen. So basically all I have to edit out are ums and pauses. But I didn't think about that. I was just excited to talk about the set, because I got to look at the cards early. I got to buy the cards early, and it was fantastic. Yeah, so basically we're done talking about that. I didn't edit this part here because we're having a serious discussion about a couple things. You can see all the images trying to load. So all of these little lines, again, these are edits, and these are things that take quite a while. It is unfortunate. I try my best to edit videos as fast as I can. I used to do lazy edits. If you look at some of my earlier stuff on my YouTube, like my Ratchet and Clank videos, all I would do was, here's the video, here's the audio, intro, go. But now I'm like, I want to remove boring parts, I want to remove long pauses, I want it to be entertaining, because I'm growing, I'm learning. There are more things I need to learn how to do, like effects. I want to put like sounds in there if it sounds good and everything. I still have a lot to learn. I'm not a pro at Vegas. I can do the basic stuff like this. You know, just add images, sounds, audio, make it line up, make it look cool. I can add text. What was that? Candace. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, I screwed this up. Justin pointed this out to me. Where is that? I actually do want to edit that if I can. So, I put a timestamp. Oh, where is that timestamp, by the way? Here? I don't remember what I did. I don't remember what I did either. Past me, sorry. But basically, I was like putting timestamps in here to kind of show how long it was taking. There it is. 11:38 p.m. Day after my birthday as I edit this. So from here all the way to here. 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. So from that little space to here took me 4 hours to edit. I also messed that up. In the sense of I put 33, I meant to put 22. I actually am gonna save that one. Yeah, whatever. That's how tired I was. That's how much I wanted to have this episode done and uploaded before we did the next one. At 3:08 a.m. I put 33. So I put this here. I had to look up the card because I didn't remember what it did. You know, I started putting editor notes. Oh man, puzzle time. I love puzzle time. And then that's episode 4. So far, I'm going to say episode 4 has the most edits due to a lot of pauses, a lot of ums, not only from Justin, but myself as well. I try to catch myself. I would rather have a 10-second pause where I'm gathering my thoughts and have to delete that 10-second pause and reduce a video from an hour and a half to an hour and 5 minutes, which I've done with almost every single one of these, then have to go, yeah, the Pokemon, you see what I'm saying? Because both Justin and I do that. I've worked on it. I don't know if he's worked on it. I hope he's feeling okay today. Just a lot going on. So now we're going to go to episode 5, the most recent episode. Whee! This one's going to take a while to render because it has a lot of talking edits. So basically this one, we are talking about Pokemon cards we used to play that were quote-unquote standard at the time. So X, Y on, Sun and Moon on, etc. At least for me. Justin's played everything as far as I'm concerned. So like, we have Tapu Lele here. And I hated myself a little bit for this one. Because I was like, man, I want to show all of them. And I was like, you know what, I'm not even going to mention the others. And Justin did. Which I'm not mad about. It's just, anytime we talk about multiple versions of a card, I have to show them. So we have Tapu Lele regular. We have Tapu Lele the promo. Tapu Lele the full art. The rainbow rare. The gold rare. And I mentioned that I like it on TCGO because it has this really nice effect. All those little diamonds that you see there kind of have like this pulsating pattern where it like loops, where like the layers change between the light gold and the dark gold. It looks really cool. We go back to regular Lele. But this episode didn't take as long because, like, here we got Tapu Lele. All I had to do is take the image and stress it as far as we talk about Lele. Talk about Zoroark. Look how long we talked about Zoroark. And yeah, we mentioned a couple other cards in here. And I put them in here because there are people that are either new to the game or came in after these cards were played, or maybe they came in while these cards were played but never saw them. So like Propagate, that's an old card. The first time I saw that, I was like, what does that do? And I read it and I was like, yo! And then my opponent's like, what? I was like, that is an excellent card to be playing with their deck. 'Cause they were playing Zoroark, and they're like, oh, thanks. I was like, I've never seen that card before. That is an excellent thing. They kind of looked shocked that I was like complimenting them. I like to compliment people's decks. I really do. Even if I get my butt kicked, I will be like, hey, that was a good combo. That was a good combo. You know, things like that. So this episode didn't take as long. I had to replace this image because the Mega Rayquaza EX I originally saved was the Celebrations version. The only difference is it has that little Celebrations Pikachu there. I honestly didn't want that there because we're talking about the older version. Yes, I am happy Mega Rayquaza EX got a Celebrations reprint because this celebration set of the 25th anniversary was supposed to be a celebration of cards that were played a lot, such as Mega Rayquaza and Tapu Lele. Zoroark didn't get one. Sad, but it's okay. Oh yeah, another thing I did is I put the background here. I put this background here, which is basically, this is basically our thumbnail for the video, but I took my face out, took his out, and I just made it the stripes. The Team Galactic logo is behind us there, but I wanted this zoomed in, and you could see when either of us is talking at all times. It saved me a little bit of time of editing instead of like I did in episode 1. Let me zoom in, put just his face there. Let me zoom out, put just my face there. Or maybe I'm just putting a picture. I loved editing this one because like I'm nodding my head like, yeah, I remember that card. Just because this was a lot of fun. It's a lot to go through and it looks fast. This was probably the third easiest edit to do. It's like I said earlier, look how long we talked about Buzzwole. Look how long we talked about Volcanion EX. Decidueye. We got ADP. Rescue Stretcher. You know? And it's like, oh, we didn't talk about any cards except near the end. Lily, because we're talking about how whenever I got in at Sun and Moon, a little bit of XY, it was, you could play a supporter on your first turn. So you'd play something like Lily, because you would draw your 7 starting, get your basic, etc., get set up, you do your turn, attach energy, put basics down, play Ultra Ball, Nest Ball, whatever, and you go, cool, I have 2 cards in hand and I have Lily. You'd play Lily on your first turn because you could draw up to 8. Versus if you played it any other turn, you can only draw up to 6. And this was a nice way to set up. There were a number of cards to set up. This is one of them. Bridget was another. There are a couple other cards that people would use for setup, but they weren't really played as much. So yeah, that's basically it. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a new one. Gonna go, actually gonna put my, okay, I had to add my microphone to this. I just don't want my files being like, my whole drives and everything being shown. So I'm gonna put our intro in here. Now I'm going to, I don't have any other videos to edit, but I'm gonna put episode 5 in here just to show you guys what it looks like. Alright, so episode 5 is currently in here. It is right now building the peaks. So, a few reasons why this takes forever to edit and everything, etc. Justin takes it. He will upload it to YouTube. And I have to wait for that to be done because he tried compressing the file and sending it to me. And by the time that was done, I was able to find the video he uploaded, because he uploaded it at the same time, find a site to download it, and then put it in Vegas, like this. So as you guys can see, this is the completely raw, this is the complete version here. Oh, I put the wrong one up. Give me a moment, guys. I'm trying to find the original one where, there it is. There we go. Okay, I got the original one. So as you can see at the beginning here, we have this long pause. So basically what this is Justin's kind of doing a countdown, let the music play for a little bit. So I'll basically hit S to split. I'll delete that. And boom, look, we've already saved about 6 seconds of time. We've already saved 6 seconds of time. And I'll move it down and merge it so that after my intro plays,
Hello, everyone.
it immediately goes into it. So there are, you see all these little lines. This is us speaking. This is us speaking. Here's another pause. You know, I would split and delete. But there's some sections where I'm zoomed in, and there may be something where he's talking here or I'm talking here. So like you can see the green there, I'm talking here, but you don't see any of the audio cue here. And that's one of the other things that makes editing the videos longer, is trying to make everything right. So I don't want long pauses and ums, but I can't see. So if I zoom in on this, I can see these little squiggly lines pretty far. Versus if I zoom in over here where I'm talking, there's nothing. So trying to edit this part is complicated. So you can see the Twitch banner's not there. See, there's no images. This is just an example of how I edit this. But I didn't finish my sentence earlier. I do that a lot. I apologize. But a few reasons why it takes forever. He has to upload it. I have to download it. So it takes, once we're done, he goes, cool, stop. And he'll be like, alright, we're good. We can discuss like a little bit things to ourselves after planning the next podcast, talk about each other's day or week, depending on that. And then he'll upload it. He'll immediately upload it. And that takes about 2 to 3 hours. Because this video, before the cut, was probably 1 hour and 11 minutes long. Versus, if I go file open, yeah, there's the B thing. Oh, I need to edit that. That's my birthday celebration. Oh good, you can't see it on the screen. That makes me so happy. Where did I put it? He's saying again. Darn it. So like that's 1 minute and 11. Oops. So this one's about 1 hour and 4 seconds. So I took off about 6 to 7 minutes editing this, but this does include my intro, my outro. So if you're wondering why edited versions take a while, it's a lot of work I have to do. So, this has been Behind the Scenes with Team Galactic Podcast with Andrew. I've been your host. Next week, we're getting into shiny Pokemon. Good, the bad, the ugly. We know shinies are great, we know they're fantastic, but there's some that aren't noticeable or are just bad design in general. I will see you guys in the next episode when we do this. Goodbye, everyone.